first of all, this interview will be seen in Paraguay. So, welcome to Paraguay.
Thank you. Hi, Paraguay.
I want to know, why did you wait so long to make the sequel, and when did you decide to make it?
Well, we're lazy. We're lazy people. Well, actually, we started working on the sequel about a year after the first Wreck-It Ralph. And Phil wrote a screenplay, a first draft of Wi-Fi Ralph. And then we jumped onto the movie Zootopia for about a year and a half that we worked on that. So we took a break from Wi-Fi Ralph and then came back to it and jumped back into that screenplay, made a few changes based on really what we learned about Zootopia was that the audience loved how deep the story was, the subject matter. It was a fun story. I mean, it was a fun movie, but at its heart, it was talking about something very important. It was talking about racism. So we said, we really want to dive deeper, into this story and really make it about something. So we worked about 3.5 years on this one. And the reason it took so long was because we had Zootopia in the middle.
So, the world of video game is complex, but the internet is endless, and everything is on the internet. Yeah.
Double.
Yeah. So, how did you choose what things to include in the movie?
The fact that the movie's about Ralph and Vanellope's friendship kind of informed everything, really, like where they go, what websites they go to, the fact that Vanellope falls in love with this racing game, Slaughter Race. All of those decisions really were bounced off of, does this help or hurt Ralph and Vanellope's friendship? And once we kind of settled on that, then it became easier to pick where in the internet we were going to go. And of course, there are other little gags and things in the background that have nothing to do with anything. But for the most part, it's Ralph and Vanellope at the center of it.
Yes. And how has internet influenced in your life? Do you remember the first time you started writing emails?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was quite a long time ago, yeah, but it definitely changed everything that we do, right? Because, work changed, like I spent like more than half my day on the internet at work. No. Don't tell that to anybody. Cut that off.
This man's addicted to internet.
Yeah.
So am I.
Reference.
Reference. Yeah. We need help.
But I do remember my first email. I remember literally the first email that was ever sent to me. It was 1994. I was in college, and a friend of mine from another college sent me an email it was like a university to university system, and he was asking me about a band, the Bare Naked Ladies, this Canadian band, weirdly.
Do you have a great memory?
It was the first email ever sent.
Yeah.
These guys invented email.
It seems like a lifetime ago, but when you think how far we've come from 1994 to now, it's 25 million lifetimes how vast the internet has become in that short span.
Yes, and in Wi-Fi Ralph we see many familiar faces, from YouTubers to Star Wars characters. Yeah. How did you choose who will be in the movie?
Man, it's just like we kind of put our hand in a bag and pulled them out, you're in. Because we wanted it to feel like you went to the internet. We wanted the movie to feel like how it feels when you're on the internet, just surfing around, looking around, and you're just seeing familiar faces, new things. And there was no real, kind of scale of who to choose. It's like, who can we get? And who, what would be funny in this moment right now? A lot like kind of how Phil said, in choosing the places we go, it all reflects the story, of Ralph and Vanellope's.
There is a Paraguayan guy working with you, Joaquin Baldwin.
Yeah.
So, how was working with him?
And you know what? That name it sounds like the least Paraguayan name, Joaquin Baldwin. It's like, do you have a lot of Baldwins in Paraguay?
Not really. We have a lot of Gonzalez, but not Baldwin.
He doesn't seem like a Baldwin, but Maybe he's one of the Baldwin brothers. I
Yeah,
don't know. Maybe
yeah.
he and Alec.
Alec.
He is an amazing cinematographer. Well, he's good at lots of things. You know, it's like cinematography is just one of the talents that he has. And I always see him as someone, he takes his job very, very seriously. You know, he's always looking for the right shot. Does it make sense? Are we telling the story correctly visually? To the point where he's so serious about his job that I wonder, like, is Joaquin having a good time doing this? And then, you know, I'll always check in and it's like, so how are you doing? It's like, oh, I love it. You know, it's like, oh, okay, well, this is how he shows that he loves it. You know, that he's very thoughtful and he's a great member of the team. The way the movie looks is because of Joaquin.
Was there a point in the movie when you realized that the movie was going to work?
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? We have our own. I haven't heard your answer to this.
The movie is going to work.
Was there a point where it felt like, okay, it's a movie now.
Oh.
Okay, it's not just a bunch of craziness. This is a movie.
For me, it's
Are
always
you still waiting for that?
No, I'm there. For me, it's interesting. Like for me, Zootopia and this movie has something very similar. The first screening and the last screening was the best. Like the first time I saw this film, I was like, oh my god, this is so amazing. And these guys, they work on the story. They're trying to figure out, you know, the mechanics of it and everything like that. But for me, like as a movie, I really enjoyed it, right? And then along the way, it took like several different steps. We screened the movie about 7 times.
Yeah, 7 or 8 times.
7 or 8 times.
We make the movie by remaking the movie.
Yeah.
You know?
You dream about it.
Oh,
Have too many ideas and become messy.
Yeah.
and
yeah, if
ugly.
you think of it like a journey, you know, like you're taking a trip or something, you're starting here, and then you want to get here. We don't go like that. It goes like, you know, to try and find the best pieces, you know, to make this the best it can be. And it requires that you try some different things and you take some detours and, you know, because if you just go from here to here, it's not going to make you cry.
And it's good to cry.
It's good to cry.
Yes.
Good tears.
Yes. Renato, Phil, Rich, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.